This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. If you click on the link in the description below, it'll take you to their store and they'll know I sent you there. Before we jump into this Kaladesh Remastered draft, I want to remind everyone that my content's sponsored by Card Kingdom. You can visit their store by clicking on the logo below on Twitch, the link in the description below on YouTube. And you can find, holiday gifts for your Magic playing friends, things for yourself, singles, sealed product, apparel. Check them out. Ooh. So, if I remember correctly, he's not super easy to make work, but he will be fun. Just jam all the artifacts ever into the deck. There are a lot of artifacts in this set, but there aren't as many as you'd think. Harness Lightning is definitely, I think, what would be the responsible thing to first pick here. I think that would be it. It's a great removal spell that can be really devastating if you have enough energy. And really efficient even if you have 0 other cards that make energy. But we're going to take Tezzeret and shove a bunch of artifacts into our deck. I think that's our plan here. Seems like too much fun, Okay, so here we have an interesting choice. If we're going to shove a bunch of artifacts into our deck, Metal Colossus might be worth it. They have to be non-creature artifacts to reduce its cost, unfortunately. So that does make it a little harder. It may be better to just grab Die Young or Glint Nest Crane. Glint Nest Crane is an artifact payoff, and Die Young is a reasonable removal spell. Maulfist Revolutionary, if we'd taken that first pick card, would probably be what we take here if we weren't sort of being silly here with Tezzeret. We could also just grab an artifact if we wanted to go really hard into artifacts, I guess. I feel like these sorts of things are going to wheel for us is the interesting thing. I think we'll grab Die Young here. Okay, so I think here I may grab an artifact. Subtle Strike and Aetherborn Marauder are both okay, but they're not amazing. I think maybe just grabbing an Eager Construct here, which this is not a draft where I'm being responsible. I just want to say that out loud. It's a draft where I'm first picking Tezzeret the Schemer and kind of forcing an artifact deck for fun. Is Skyskift better than Eager Construct? It probably is, so I should probably take it. Subtle Strike and Marauder are both fine, but let's grab an artifact. Okay, well, here's a good artifact payoff. Gearseeker Serpent also wants us to shove as many artifacts as possible into our deck. Universal Solvent, Renegade Map, those are going to be things we really want. I wish he reduced the cost of his unblockable ability equal to the number of artifacts you control too, kind of like that Rogue in Zendikar Rising, but not so much. Doesn't work that way. He does provide us with fixing, which is pretty weird for a blue-black card, I think. But he does, so that's one thing to keep in mind. He makes treasure. Okay, so I like Foundry Hornet. We don't currently have +1/+1 counters with this card. We probably take Ether Swooper. It's not an artifact, but it makes artifact tokens. It's it and the Death Touch and the First Strike Swoopers or Ether creatures are all pretty good, but we want the Swooper here. Yeah. So far, we basically have 2 artifacts and 2 artifact payoffs, so it's not the worst place to be. Okay. Not any random artifacts for us to take in this pack. I mean, this makes an artifact token, but... I either want Live Fast or... I mean, this is an artifact payoff, but I just don't think it's that great. I mean, it seems... this format is reasonably fast, so Tezzeret's Ambition can be ambitious. I think I'd rather have Live Fast. Morning, Warlock. It's not going super great. We had 2 2 and 3s in Zendikar Rising to start the day. And now we're doing, as you can see, Kaladesh Remastered. So, Black Implement is probably what we want to take here. The Wingsmith's okay, but it's not that good of an artifact payoff. I'd rather grab some artifacts at this point. And this is way better than Iron Tread Crusher, so... Okay, there's another Black Implement. There's also a Foundry Screecher, which is an artifact payoff, though not the most exciting of one. And Leave in the Dust is a pretty reasonable card. I probably don't want a second Implement right this second. I think it's either the Construct, the Screecher, or Leave in the Dust. I think the Screecher is probably actually going to be pretty good in this deck. I think it'll be a 3-mana, 3/1 flyer often enough. Yeah, that I'd take it over Leave in the Dust. Okay, so what do you do? Okay, you're like an artifact that sits around that can gain me life in the later game. Or that does gain me life and then in the later game can draw me a card. It's not terrible for our deck. I think it's probably a little better than Mobile Garrison. You know, cantrips, after all. Okay, so right now, we're not going to have the white mana for the Puzzle Knot, but it does provide us with 2 artifacts, which Tezzeret and Gearseeker Serpent are excited about. And we could maybe splash white. Fortuitous Find isn't bad either, but I'm going to grab the Puzzle Knot. And I'm going to grab a Reservoir Walker, unsurprisingly. And hey, a late Universal Solvent. And the green Puzzle Knot, that one's harder to justify in our deck. Thanks for giving out gift subs, Warlock Pelican. I really appreciate it. Ooh. So probably Baral's Expertise here. You know, this pack also has Fatal Push, which is good, but I think Baral's Expertise is just better. 5 to bounce 3 things, you know, artifacts or creatures, and play a spell. You're not always going to have the spell, but you'll have it often enough that it's pretty darn good. Better than Fatal Push in Limited. You know, in Constructed, obviously, Fatal Push is miles better, but this isn't Constructed, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so what do we have here? We have Inventor's Goggles, which isn't bad, but I think maybe Ether Poisoner is even better. It is an Artificer. We'd go with that. It's another thing that'll make us artifact tokens for our artifact payoffs. Okay, so here's the blue Implement. It's fine. It's basically 4 mana to draw 2 cards. But we're not doing great on removal, and maybe I just want to take a Malfunction. I think I probably do. We could take the Courtyard to actually occasionally be able to use the ability of the Puzzle Knot, but I think we'll take Malfunction. There's a decent chance we pick up, like, the other cantrip artifact, the fixing one, the Prism. And if we pick that up, then, yeah, it'll make a lot of sense to play the Puzzle Knot if we have one of those. Okay, well, this is another interesting pick. We have Fatal Push again, but we also have Gearseeker Serpent again, and our deck is all about the Gearseeker Serpents. This is pretty fun if you can splash it, I should say, but I think our deck is more interested in this. You know, in this format, you can do it, but making it so Revolt works isn't that easy. But, I mean, I do think Fatal Push is good. Our deck is just a weird one, where we want all the artifacts and artifact payoffs that exist. Okay, I think we will finally take Fatal Push here over these 2 artifacts. It's kind of funny that we saw 3 in a row. we still get one out of the deal, you know? So this is interesting. This is an artifact tutor that can also gain us life. I think we probably take Essence Extraction. But I'm intrigued by Inventor's Fair there. But Essence Extraction is a great removal spell, so that's what we'll take. Okay, so Servo Schematic is another card that gives us 2 artifacts. We don't have any way to sacrifice artifacts right now, do we? I mean, we could turn it into a creature with Tezzeret, which is funny. But I think maybe the P-Foul makes more sense for our deck. Yeah. Okay. So here is a way where we could start sacrificing artifacts, which means, you know, some things. I think maybe we want Ether Theorist to smooth out our draws more than we want these things. Yeah. I think it's an alright little card. Alright, here we'll take a Mobile Garrison. I don't know that it'll make the cut, but it's what we'll take. Here we'll take a Fortuitous Find. It's going to be getting 2 things back pretty often in this deck. And we'll take an Implement here. Rebuff. There's another Fortuitous Find. I doubt we play more than one. Ooh. So, this is a nice little aggressive guy who keeps coming back. We have 2 pretty good improvised creatures here in Windkin Raiders and Fenhauler. And a pretty good vehicle as well, but you know, the value of a creature like this is pretty real. Its ability to just keep coming back and keep attacking when it's a 2-mana 3/2 really matters. Now, it'll become irrelevant on some boards, and then that's a liability, but for now, I mean, I think he'll work in our deck. So this has a really powerful Revolt trigger, but we're not that good at making Revolt happen. So I think I'm kind of inclined to take our 3rd Gear Seeker Serpent. Yeah. What's our curve look like? It looks alright, actually. I mean, it's not great, given the kind of wacky thing we're doing. I'm trying to decide if we need something like the Turtle more than another implement. Because right now, we have 10 artifacts, which is plenty. I think I am going to take the Turtle here. Alright, here I think we'll take a Ballista Charger. This would be sweet to splash, but, you know, we do have Tezzeret who can fix, but I don't think he's going to be quite good enough at it. Okay, so, ooh, Renegade map. Well, now we'll be able to splash. We'll play this card anyway. It does help us trigger Revolt, too, which I guess doesn't really matter right now. But you basically play Renegade map no matter what. And we're an artifact deck, so I think we're really happy with it. I wish we had better things to cheat into play with Whir of Invention. Like, what are we going to do? You know? Like... It's a cool card, but I don't think we're going to do anything with it. I think it's still what we take because we don't really want a Moray or a Demolition Stomper, but I have doubts that it'll make it into our deck. Ooh, hold on a second here. How many... Do we have ways to take advantage of all of that at all? I don't think we do, unfortunately. Panharmonicon would be fun. I mean, we have a few, but not enough. So I think I take Subtle Strike here. Okay, so Leave in the Dust or Ice Over. Or Eager Construct. I mean, we're okay on artifacts, so I'm not exactly desperate for them anymore, but I think we need some more interaction, and maybe Leave in the Dust is what we're looking for. Grab another Solvent, I guess. We're definitely going to be able to power out early. I think this deck ended up being a lot better than it could have been. Like, I think we ended up with the 3 Gearseeker Serpents plus Tezzeret is plenty of a reason to shove this many artifacts into your deck. We could have definitely like forced this deck and then never found a real reason to be in it, which would have been bad, but luckily that's not what went down. Yeah, I mean, we're going to have some cuts to make, but I don't think it'll be that hard. I think we'll cut a lot of things that just aren't artifacts or artifact payoffs. I guess I'll grab this. What got me into streaming and YouTube? Well, you know, just I've always loved Limited for a very long time, and watching, I think mostly people on Channel Fireball on YouTube and stuff made me think, huh, that might be fun. And there you have it. It's not that good of a story. One thing we don't have a lot of is creatures. So that'll be interesting. So yeah, I kind of wish I had that Vengeful Rebel now. I'm with you. I think that was a mistake. We have enough ways to trigger it. In the end, we do. So we probably don't need to play this Puzzle Knot in the end. I mean, we have plenty of artifacts. And it's not even counting all of them. So I think we cut the Puzzle Knot. I don't really think we want the Salvager in this deck. We have 1 card with Revolt. So probably don't need Live Fast. With the few number of creatures we have, we may need to cut this Ballista Charger. It's just hard to crew in a deck with so few creatures. Now, Tezzeret can turn things into creatures. Things that have crew 1 or 2 are a lot easier because we have a couple ether creatures, like the Swooper and the Poisoner, but the Scrounger can crew it, which is cool, but I just think we're going to end up in a place where it's not going to be easy for us to crew Ballista Charger. So I think we probably cut it. We're still at 11 artifacts, which is more like 13. I think we're interested in just these cheap artifacts that kind of don't seem like they do anything because of our Gearseekers and Tezzeret. Yeah, getting down to the last cards here is rough. I mean, I think maybe in the end we're not interested in Thriving Turtle. We're probably not. I mean, it's hard because we want to cram as many artifacts as we can into the deck, but we don't have that many ways to interact, and cutting things like Leave in the Dust and Die Young seems dangerous. So maybe it's better to cut like mediocre artifact payoffs like these 2 cards than it is to cut... Oh yeah, it did it automatically, the Bob Ross lands. That's cool. We can probably get away with playing 1 fewer land because of our Renegade map. So that helps a little, but we still need to cut 1 more card. I mean, I like Ether Theorist most of the time, but in this deck, I'm not sure we want it, given the weird sorts of things we're doing. Alright, we're going to hold on to this. This is not like a normal deck. It's a deck that's like going all in on artifacts, and Ether Theorist is neither an artifact payoff or an artifact, and I know it can help us find artifacts, but I'm still not really digging it. Okay, so I think I've had enough of lands. Go ahead and kill this. Well, unfortunately, it looks like we're playing a real deck. I don't know who told our opponent to draft a good deck, but so far, that's what we're looking at. Oh, man. This deck can't afford to flood like this. Do I have to put Malfunction on this Wanderer? I kind of feel like I do. I guess I'm only going to go to 14. I can take it. Look at them curving out over there. The only good news is I can kill that flyer with Subtle Strike. Unless they put a counter on it, but yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think they will. Okay. I'd say we're in a little trouble here. I guess we play Ether Poisoner rather than Malfunction. Yeah. Even if we draw Tezzeret right now, we're like not in good shape. And that is not where we wanted this deck to be. Same with Gear Seeker Serpent. Alright, so we're going to Malfunction the Wanderer. We're going to play Universal Solvent. End our turn. Well, I can pay 4 to draw 2. That's better than the other option. They can hit us for 4. If I kill... I guess if I kill Glint Sleeve, I buy myself 1 more turn. But... I can't imagine doing anything on that turn. I guess I'll draw another card for what that's worth. So yeah, maybe that's our best plan here, to give us the best chance of finding, you know, things. Yeah, let's go with that. We have to kill the Glint Sleeve and go to 1. And then if they have any kind of trick, we're dead, obviously. Oh, no. Man. That's a nasty turn. Panharmonicon plus Renegade Rallier. Well, that's not going to help us. Don't think there's much we can do here to get out of this. Hey! Yeah, we're dead. That's what happens sometimes when you draft a silly deck instead of a good one. What's silly about it is I forced an artifact deck and played a bunch of... I'm playing a bunch of subpar cards to make Tezzeret and Gear Seeker Serpents work. This is a much better hand, but it seems like we're not getting nearly as many artifacts as we would like. Which is weird, because we have like 11. So more would be good. We considered running that card just because it gives you... It can give you 2 artifacts for the price of 1. And, you know, yeah. I think we probably... I mean, maybe we should have left Ether Theorist in, if only because we need creatures early. We have a few early creatures, but might not be enough. Hey, there's one of them. How about that? Like, playing Baral's Expertise and then the P-Foul would be pretty nice. Even just the Subtle Strike would be. Although, maybe not. Subtle Strike wouldn't be that good if they don't have any creatures in play. So we're going to take 2 here. Yeah, we maybe should just be running more 2s for that reason. And this may not be that good in the deck either, even though I think it's quite good. It's pretty rough here. Alright, so we can really get our opponent with Subtle Strike here. And we make a servo either way, and then play a P-Foul, so I feel reasonable about doing this. I mean, if they just take it, we play the P-Foul. So we're going to put a counter here. Ooh, no, I'm not sure. Put the -1/-1 there. Then we'll play our Scrounger. Does mean we can play Gear Seeker next turn. That's no joke. Yeah, so what are they going to do? Do they just want to kill my... Yeah, they're just going to kill the token. Looks like we're going to be in a race, which probably favors us overall. Wouldn't normally, I don't think, but given our hand, I think it does. Okay, yeah, so I think we play the P-Foul here. So we're going to attack with both and play P-Foul. Yeah, I mean, we're fine with that because it can come back all game long, you know? Like, it's a real problem. It can't right now, of course, but it will be able to at some point. Alright, so let's play the P-Foul. They are delaying our Gear Seeker Serpent's arrival, unfortunately, but... Okay. I'm just going to attack with the Swooper here. And we're going to play the Implement. It's going to be a question of whether we would... Okay. They really don't want us to stick artifacts on the board. I mean, they know Gear Seeker Serpent's at common, so... They know that could happen. So, Baral's Expertise plus Leave in the Dust is kind of silly, but we would need 4 things to return. So... Well, now I can return Malfunction at least. Ouch. Yeah, so at this point... I don't really think attacking's worth it. I mean, I could give it flying, but that's a race we'll lose because their creature will get larger. If I had a 5th land, I would probably do it because I can Leave in the Dust if I want to, but I think we just have to pass the turn here. We're going to Leave in the Dust something here, and I guess it'll be... This guy's more likely to be able to attack me on a given turn, so... Yeah, just returning the Swooper makes more sense. Good call. Good call. Okay. So if they don't have counter magic here, I think Tezzeret is going to pull us ahead the way we dreamed. Because I can play Tezzeret now and kill this. I have 2 artifacts in play. I could also just play Gear Seeker Serpent. Or Reservoir Walker or whatever. But I think, you know, normally going for it with the Planeswalker is right. The question is whether they have another Metallic Rebuke. I think it's unlikely. So I'm going to go for it here.
Do not cross me. You
Nice.
artifacts give them strength.
Am I concerned enough about haste here? Eh. I guess not. Oh yeah, I think we're in really good position in this game now. All we have to do is stick another artifact and we can kill this, and Tezzeret will still be alive. And we have a bunch of other artifacts, so, you know. So yeah, I think we play the Walker here, kill that, attack for 2 again.
More power.
And then we have 2 really strong cards in our hand to lean on. Even if Tezzeret goes wrong, I mean, he's already given us a 2-for-1. And a pretty significant 2-for-1. But yeah, if we cast Expertise at this point, we're not going to get to cast anything for free. But we can return our Ether Swooper and maybe 2 creatures if they have to, you know. Okay. Well, now it's going to be really good to bounce the P-Foul, too. Oh, man. Okay, so we could just wait it out and play Gearseeker Serpent here and make a treasure. We could also play a treasure and have mana up to destroy a permanent. That's probably better. Well, except I'm going to play the Gearseeker, but that's okay. Yeah. Either way here, we're making a treasure, so... Even though it's not technically a treasure, it's an Ethereum Cell.
Power for me.
I think Ethereum Cell, 2 Gearseekers is probably pretty good. Let's just do that. And now we have the Malfunction to lean on. So, oh, I forgot they can kill Tezzeret now. Well, it's okay if they do, honestly. We're going to hit them. There's no way we don't do lethal here, basically, so. Tezzeret's done his part, yeah. Alright, we won at least 1 game with this thing. I think it has, like I said, I think it has the potential to go 5-3, but, yeah, it has some problems. And maybe we should look at the Ether, the 2-mana 1/3 guy. That scries, if only, because we kind of need the early game. Like, what would I cut for it, though? I guess, I mean, Pendulum of Patterns is pretty bad, and we would still have 10, basically 12 artifacts in our deck. So I think cutting the Pendulum and the Theorist is, and playing the Theorist is probably a good idea. Okay. Yeah, we have 1 loss so far. We are 1-1. We had 1 game go very decidedly not in our way, and we had the other one go very much in our way. Most games probably be somewhere in the middle, I would guess. There's our Ether Theorist, but I still don't think we can keep this. I mean, maybe we can. Maybe having Scry is enough to smooth out our draws and stuff. But not having any black mana seems hugely problematic. Yeah, I think we mulligan. Same problem, more or less. But I think we have to keep this one. That first one probably would have panned out better, but, you know, hindsight. So, at least this isn't actually a black card. Man, it's hard because I may never draw the mana to play these, but I guess there's enough artifacts in my deck that maybe I can play Gearseeker, and maybe I think for that reason we'll put the Poisoner back. Yeah. Ugh. we're not going to be that capable of triggering Fatal Push either is the thing. Yeah, I guess a creature that can trade for anything is better than sort of narrow removal. Okay, well. Aha! I'd rather play Poisoner. I guess the Poisoner will make it so we get an artifact in play one way or another, most likely. Yeah, let's do the Poisoner. I was thinking about playing Scrounger, but we really want to get Gear Seeker Serpent in play, so. Just getting an artifact from this, then playing the Scrounger, then playing the Peafowl should make it pretty doable. Ooh, they forgot to sack the Renegade map. Oh, it doesn't matter. They're holding onto it probably for rally, I would guess. Okay, okay. We're doing some good Gear Seeker Serpent drawing here. I guess I'm going to attack first, actually, now that I think about it. Make an artifact. So next turn, if they don't do anything to our board, we'll be able to play Gear Seeker. And they're not exactly in colors that will have an easy time dealing with Gear Seeker. I mean, I guess there's a few cards. Revoke Privileges. That card's a funny one. It's interesting they didn't want to attack at all there, I think. Honestly, I think I attack with the Poisoner here. I'm happy to trade with any of these. I guess if I get more energy later, but we're going to attack. I'm also fine with doing 1 damage, so alright. Now we'll play our Gear Seeker. See how that goes. Well, that's less than ideal. I'll tell you that much. Okay. So they can actually set up kind of a reasonable double block here. They have to triple, though. But even a triple is pretty reasonable, the way our board looks. I don't think it's worth it. I think we play our Sky Skiff. And we'll end our turn. I love that card. Don't love that it's being used against me, but... I would love if they attack with Cloud Blazer here by mistake, just to give us a tiny edge, but... Yeah, Narnum Cobra's nasty too. I mean, we can eventually make this unblockable, but... For now... Ooh. Okay. I don't know that I'm going to use it just yet. I think we just play our Peafowl. Not like that, though. We want to have it... Still have the ability to gain flying. And we can actually attack now if we crew. I guess if I crew, their Narnum Cobra can attack me relatively well, but... I think I'm okay with that overall. Honestly, maybe I'd rather tap the Scrounger, since it can't block anyway. Yeah, that is what we'd rather do. Oh, I'm dumb. I mean, nothing bad's gonna happen, but nothing good's gonna happen either. You know what would have been great in this deck was Improvise, which Gearseeker Serpent sort of has, but we passed a couple of improvised creatures and then never saw them again. Oh, yeah, actually bad things can happen here if they double block. It's not the end of the world. I would kill the Cloud Blazer. Interesting. They must have a way to get it back. Or a trick. Trick makes sense, too. Okay. Kind of makes me wish I'd attacked first. Instead of being dumb, because then I could have Essence Extraction there. For a pretty good blowout. Uh-oh. Wow. They're just like undoing us here. You know, Cloud Blazer can help set that kind of thing up. Alright, so we're going to take the 7. I guess we replay our Gearseeker. Well, might as well attack with our Scrounger. I'll be able to replay the Gearseeker either way, so... So they can hit me for 4 in the air, which is less than ideal. I could use Tezzeret right about now. Although, he might be under too much pressure if I just, like, slammed him. Probably would be, since they have 2 flyers. I'm okay with that. Okay, so we can potentially use Essence Extraction to get a blowout. Like if they decide to block this with multiple things. Problem is, they're probably just going to block it with Narnum Cobra, which isn't as much of a blowout, but I guess I would feel okay about it. But at the same time, I wouldn't have any good blocks. I'd probably attack with Scrap Heap Scrounger here. The attack is basically free. They have more flyers coming at us, which is not good. Yeah, we'll take it. So I think we play Ether Swooper. And I probably use Essence Extraction on the Hinterland Drake here. Yeah. We can't afford another flyer to be coming at us. They're gonna scry away. Yeah, it's a nice card, Narnum Cobra. The one thing it doesn't have going for it is servos, so it's not often a great attacker, but it has a very real impact on the board that lasts all game, like most Death Touch creatures. Yeah, I've been wondering why they haven't done that more. Of course, it does give me the ability to attack and make a servo, potentially. Yeah, that's not good. That is not good. I guess I'm going to do this first, if only because it'll give me a little more of an idea of what I should do. Okay. The other Gear Seeker Serpent's nice, but I think it may be too little too late. This Riparian Tiger is about to run us over, so... So, would I rather return the Scrounger or play Implement of Malice? I think returning Scrounger actually makes more sense. I think we're probably dead. Wonder what my dog's barking at. So we're going to double block this. I think it's pretty much a necessity at this point. We do have another Gear Seeker, so we're not going to be completely screwed, but I'm not thrilled about it. Especially if they have a trick. Okay. So... I'm going to play Implement here. I'm going to play Gear Seeker Serpent for 2. And we'll go ahead and use the Implement. Obviously, it's not going to make them discard anything, but I do get to draw a card. Okay, Die Young, actually pretty useful. I'm not going to attack this turn with Scrap Heap Scrounger. It's not as free as usual because I can't get it back right away. So we're going to take the 4. Oh, good. Yet another flyer. Yeah. Well, we're not quite dead, but we're definitely working on it. We do have removal from our solvent. For what that's worth. That is worth something. But maybe it's not really. I think we Die Young, the Cloud Blazer. And yeah, we do have the free attack with the Scrounger. Yeah, I mean, they know I can't do anything, I guess. But it doesn't really matter. Are we dead here? We're dead here. I mean, there's no way for us to avert death. There's still too many creatures over there. That game was more in the middle, you know. We didn't go crazy. We didn't do that well either. And we lost. So maybe we need to go crazy to win. Definitely could be the case. Okay, this time around, I think we can get away with keeping the hand. Thanks to Ether Theorist. We may have been able to do it in that earlier hand too, but I think scrying will do us enough good to find a way to find black mana or other cards we can play. Needed to draw like Baral's Expertise in that last game to have a chance. Wish we had that instead of our pendulum thing. I'm gonna put a hold on our upkeep so we can scry with that next turn. I mean, unless they play something I really desperately need to block, they don't. No thanks. You're not gonna... Well, I guess... No, you're not gonna do anything. You are an artifact, but other than that... Oh, man. Well, we have Tezzeret this time. The other time we got him, we won, but the board was also very well developed, unlike what we're looking at here. We have Malfunction this time. To malfunction something could matter. Yes, please. Please give me a swamp. So the problem we have here is that Bazaar Barge can be crewed right away. So I don't think we can play Tezzeret here just yet. I could put Malfunction on the Bazaar Barge and then play Tezzeret next turn, but we also have no artifacts, which is really maddening. Fatal Push won't do the job. Yeah, so I guess malfunctioning the Bazaar Barge is maybe worth it. We do have removal for actual creatures, so yeah, let's malfunction it. Put another hold on our upkeep. Oh god. That's not good. That can be crewed even more easily. So if I play Tezzeret, make a... Oh, it's not a creature though. But I can do it. I can sack it on their turn and then Fatal Push to kill the Untethered Express. That's pretty good. I think that's probably what we want to do. We're also going to scry here. Yeah, I think we want another swamp because of Essence Extraction. Although maybe with Tezzeret we don't need to do it. But... Oh, not in my main phase yet. Yeah, so we're going to Tezzeret. We're going to +1 Tezzeret.
Your end is near.
Yeah. Play a land. We actually don't even need to use the artifact, which we probably don't want to. So if they play something in crew Untethered Express, we kill Untethered Express. For sure. If they don't play anything, then we hold on to our Fatal Push, and that plan is going to stick around. Okay, they do play something. So we're going to sacrifice that, and we're going to Fatal Push. Nice. Glad that worked out. There was no guarantee that it would. Okay. Still no artifacts in play, which is... How is that possible in this deck? But that's what we're looking at. Okay, so we're going to +1.
A valuable addition.
And do we just want to Essence Extraction the Aetherborn here? Probably. Probably gives us our best chance. I'm just going to leave back our Theorist. I mean, it's unlikely it can do anything, but if we can hold on to Tezzeret, we've got a chance. I mean, the emblem that he's about to give us is no joke. We could just go with the emblem now. The question is whether or not we're gonna. We need to keep drawing artifacts for that to matter. And I don't think we're gonna do it. I mean, how many artifacts are still in our deck? All of them? So, I mean, there are 10 left. The problem is the emblem has a pretty big delay on it. And if I don't use the emblem now, there's a significant chance they can kill my Tezzeret one way or another. I think our best chance here is to emblem. Yeah, let's do it. We'll draw other artifacts, you know, it'll happen. Right?
Isn't it remarkable?
Do I actually want to attack here? I kind of think we do. Nice. Alright, Tezzeret. Let's see if we can ride your emblem to victory. We do have 10 more artifacts in our deck, plus 2 ether creatures. So it's a possibility. We're just going to take the 4 here. Okay, well, you're not an artifact, but I can live with that. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so let's attack again. There's a chance they have something. I mean, they wouldn't have given it vigilance if they didn't. But we're kind of okay with it if they do, yeah. So any artifact we draw will become a 5/5 when we go to combat. We literally have a 10 and 25 chance of drawing an artifact every turn. Some of them are creatures, so it won't feel quite as crazy, but none of them are 5/5 creatures. So it'll feel pretty good if we can make it happen. Okay, what are they splashing red for? That concerns me. Alright, I think I'm just going to take this. They may have been trying to trigger Revolt or something. They're going to make me discard my Die Young, which kind of sucks. It's not a huge deal, but it does matter. Could have killed something small or bigger. Like, we draw our Walker, not Hangerback, but the other one. Yeah, they still get their... Okay, well, we did draw our Walker. So, Dai Young would have been able to kill Bastion Mastodon, so that's rough. can start scrying again, which is not rough. And we get a 5/5 Reservoir Walker. So we're going to attack with our Gear Seeker here. I wish we had their Prophetic Prisms right about now. They're going to return their Barge, I would think. Yeah. P-Foul. So you'll become a 5/5 who can gain flying. I mean, I think I'm good with that. I think anytime we can draw an artifact, we're like, yes, please. So if we make this unblockable and attack with both of these, yeah, I don't think we want to do that. I think we're just going to attack with Reservoir Walker. Oh, I had to play my P-Foul in that first main phase to get what I wanted out of it. Still going to attack with the Walker, and we're still going to play the P-Foul. Yeah, they probably crew and block, which is fine with me. We're still going to play the P-Foul. This is another one of those situations, I did this on Thursday too, where it's embarrassing to show your opponent you made such a dumb mistake, but not playing the P-Foul is just worse than playing it. So, like, there's no way around it. Like, if we don't use the mana there to play the P-Foul, it's worse than just holding on to it so we don't look so stupid. That's the real reason I make misplays, is so I can teach people things. That's always been the plan, you know. Okay, that's interesting. They almost definitely have a mass pump spell. I'm just gonna block here and scry. Okay, leaving the dust will be pretty good against a mass pump spell. I mean, it's not an artifact, but it'll make me feel a lot better about blocking and stuff like that next turn. Oh, crap. Restoration Gear Smith is sweet. Yeah, as I say, I think they probably return the Barge to get another creature who can trade with my artifacts. Why does that Barge sound like a train, you know? I guess it's steam-powered is the idea, huh? Alright. So, we're not going to attack this turn. We're just going to pump up our P-Foul and not attack. And hold up, leaving the dust. You know, even if we end up 1 and 3 here, the fact we got to go off with Tezzeret's emblem is pretty sweet. I mean, we definitely could have ended up in a better situation to use it than we have, but it's been what has kept us alive. So it was the right move, I think. If we tried to hold on to him there, I don't think it would have worked out for us. So I don't really want to leave in the dust up a Czar Barge, I can tell you that much. I will probably block it with my Gear Seeker, though, and if they want to use a trick... Okay, so they... Let's, I'm gonna block here, and I'm gonna block here. Let's see what happens. Chances are very good that they have some kind of pump spell. And the fact that they attacked with their Barge sucks for me because... it means that I have to bounce it, like if they play a pump spell here, and they'll play it again and draw a card and all of that. So, that sucks, but I think it was the right thing to do. Even if they play a pump spell, these creatures, this will definitely die, because there's nothing that gives +3/+3. So that's good. And we will take a bunch of damage, but I think that's okay too. It's been a fun game too, like, you know. That worries me. They have another Gearsmith. Oh, no. Okay, so I definitely bounced my own creature here. I'm going to bounce my Gear Seeker, I think. Although the Peafowl is effectively a 5/5 that can gain flying for 1 on this board. So maybe that's a little better, and it costs less, so double spelling is more of a possibility. Yeah, let's bounce our Peafowl. Nice. So we are going to double spell here. We wouldn't have been able to with Gear Seeker. They do have another Gearsmith, much to my chagrin. Gearsmith. And probably Bomat Bazaar Barge again. Oh no. Yeah, of course. Yeah, chain together those. That's the right thing to do for sure. Let's go to combat. Make it a 5/5. And play Ether Swooper as well. So Ether Swooper doesn't work perfectly with our game plan. Because it won't make the servo until it attacks. So the servo won't become a 5/5 right away. But it'll matter. I mean, you know, eventually it could. Woo boy. So it's basically a free attack for them. What I have to determine is whether they're actually just going for a free attack here because they can, or they have a trick. I think they probably have a free attack. I'm going to block. Because they hit me, and then they play the other one. Oh, gross. Okay. I mean, it's sort of a 2-for-1, but it's not really, because the Gearsmith will happen. And then they'll get back the other Gearsmith, and then they'll play a Gearsmith. Good stuff. Okay, that will actually be pretty good here, since it will become a huge creature. So they're about to do all kinds of wacky Restoration Gearsmith stuff over there. The only good news is my Solvent, you know, can kill whatever it wants to if I have 7 mana up, and I do. In addition to being, you know, a 5/5. Okay, so I'm going to block one of them with our Solvent. I kind of have to, is the problem. Yeah, the value loop is not something I can, you know, I'm at low enough life that I can't just ignore this. I have to live with it. The only good news is we have a pretty powerful thing going on too, where literally all of our artifacts become 5/5s. Well, one at a time. But, you know, that may not be enough to stand up to this. But it's been fun. Oh yeah, it is sick, you're right. I couldn't have used the ability right away if I wanted. Luckily it didn't come up. Okay, so... I can block that and that and go to like 1. I think that's probably worth it. If we're going to have a chance here. Wish I had one more energy lying around, but... So yeah, I block a Mastodon and a Gearsmith. We kind of have to hope they don't have anything else, but I think that's where we are in this game. It's been a fun draft, like I said, either way. Interesting. Because getting to Tazzeret's emblem is just... It's definitely an achievement unlocked. I guess they probably feel like they can push through enough damage in the near future. My god. Yeah, that's why they didn't attack, because they don't need to. Okay. I think we're dead now, unfortunately. We're trying our darndest, but it's not going to be enough. You're not supposed to lose against, you know, when you get an emblem going. So, the nice news... Oh my god. That card's so good. Both the Quicksmiths are, like, two of my favorite cards in this set. Okay. That probably does us in, I would think. So he can kill my Ether Swooper and attack with everything, basically. Now, I can use the solvents to, like, block and kill something else. And I might be able to survive one more turn, but... It's let's see. Can we even survive? So, you're going to block the 5. You're going to block there. Problem is, I'll have to sacrifice my 5/5s, and they won't do damage to the creatures they're blocking. That is a problem. I think we can actually survive here without having to solvent. Right? That's 5 damage. That's 6 damage. I have to block the 3/3, so I have to leave that stupid thing alive. Yeah, so we go to 1 here. Oh, but they have the Quicksmith thing to finish us off. Yeah, okay, yeah. That works too. They didn't have to kill my blocker. Like I said, you know, I'm happy with that draft just because it was funny. And we kind of got to go off with Tezzeret twice. One of the times it actually won us a game. The other time, not so much. But either way, you know, we went wacky there and ended up with a suitably wacky record.